Chairwoman Blake. Here. Vice Chairwoman Zillman. Commissioner Schaefer.
Here.
Commissioner Adams. Commissioner Brookman.
Here.
Commissioner Dale. Commissioner Dosher.
Here.
Thank you. We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Nick, would you do us the honors in leading us in the pledge? Thanks. Hate to put you on the spot, but welcome. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So public comment, you're encouraged and welcomed to participate in this meeting. Public comment on items not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express the opinions of the group. Do we have any written requests at this time?
There are no written requests.
Okay. And seeing no additional appearance of interested citizens that want to comment, am I correct? You don't have anything to comment on that's not on the agenda? Okay. So with that, we'll move on to agenda modifications. I don't think any are necessary this evening, seeing that we only have one item. And the fourth item, and Ben, please tell me, does that require action for the, yes, okay. So fellow commissioners, we're looking to cancel the December 22nd, 2021 meeting, and it's weird to say January 12th, 2022 meeting. So we're looking for a motion to approve the cancellation of those two respected meetings.
Move approval on both.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, so we won't be back here until January, what did you say, the next meeting? 26th, so January 26th. Please mark your calendar. All right, so now we'll move on to item number 5 on the agenda, minutes from the November 10th. Looking for an approval unless there are any additions or corrections that are necessary.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? All right, minutes pass. So we're moving on to our one and only business item, and that is the use permit 21-04 to allow Regional Emergency Shelter Team, better known as REST to most of us, to operate a continuous cold weather shelter at 715 King Avenue. And Ashley's going to make a staff report for us.
Hello. So like Chairwoman Blake said, our item tonight is REST, the Regional Emergency Shelter. And I just wanted to point out that Nick Anderson is here as well. So following the presentation, if there are any questions from the commissioners, he's available to answer questions. This project may look familiar because you saw it last year around this time. It is for a proposal to have a cold weather shelter at 715 King Avenue. So this would be a continuous cold weather shelter during the winter months due to the continuing COVID-19 situation. This is based off of Dr. Liu's recommendation to continue having the cold weather shelter in one location. So you can see the project location is on King Avenue. It's located next to Cornerstone Church, and Cornerstone Church is kind of the headquarters. That's the word. I was like, headstone? That's not right. Headquarters, I guess you could say. A little bit of background on this project. In 2010, these kind of cold weather shelters were approved by the city council. And then from then, they've kind of switched into having a rotating standard where you move from church to church. But in 2020, with the COVID-19 pandemic, they decided to have it just at this location on King Avenue. And this year they're trying to have that as well. So you can see, this is what it looks from above. You can see the location of the home compared to the church, and it's surrounded by residences. We also have an image of it from Street View. It looks like a regular house. And the neighboring uses to this location are primarily single-family residential, as well as the church, their Cornerstone Church, and churches are permitted in our R1 zone. So there we have it. These type of rotating cold weather shelters are permitted in the R1 zone with a zoning clearance, but because this is going to be a permanent structure for the winter months, they've come forward for a use permit. So that's why we're going through this process. And you can see in the staff report, and we have it here as well on the presentation, the conditions or what is needed in order to justify this type of cold weather shelter. And I'm moving along quickly. I hope that's okay. So staff has reviewed this. We've looked into it as well as the approval from last year, and we've determined that this is an acceptable request based on the situation that we're in. We've also performed a environmental review and determined that this is categorically exempt from CEQA due to a Class 1 existing facilities exemption. So we have that noted. The use permit findings that are required for this type of request are listed on the screen. We've reviewed them all and determined that this project does meet all of the findings. If you have questions about the specifics, I can go into those. But yeah, we feel confident recommending that this project is a good project. So with that, here's our recommendation for the Planning Commission, that we conduct a public hearing and adopt a resolution to determine that this project is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to CEQA Guidelines 15301 existing facilities, and approve the use permit subject to the conditions of approval as attached in your staff report.
Thank you, Ashley. Okay, so before we bring it back to the commission, we'll go ahead and open a public hearing. Is there any comments on this agenda item? Were any sent in via email or anything?
There are no comments.
All right. I just remember I forgot to read the Zoom link thing. Is there anybody on Zoom tonight?
No.
Okay, good. Well, we'll close this public hearing, and I'll actually invite Nick, if you have anything to say or add to the staff's Absolutely. Commissioner Schaefer, any comments?
No questions.
None.
Okay. We have no questions, but I would like to say we support your work and are appreciating that you're there for our community members that are experiencing some difficult times in their life. So with that, I'll entertain a motion for staff's recommendation.
Motion to approve use permit 21-04, application to operate a continuous cold weather shelter at 715 King Avenue.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, congratulations. Thank you for keeping our community warm. And we'll move on to future agenda items and/or your development report.
All right. So really, right now we're getting through the holiday season, and so it's somewhat limited is what's going on. But the big stuff that's coming up for 126 is the development agreement and the development plan for the River's Edge apartment. And so, a lot of the pieces have been finalized. And so over the Christmas break, we're going to advertise that CEQA document and do the public hearing notice. And so on the 26th, that will be pretty much the main project. In the past, we've heard a little bit of input from the neighbors. So we'll see. I think we've definitely, as a staff, tried to work with maybe adding some additional accesses and different things to kind of alleviate some of those past issues. So we think we got a good project, and so you'll see that one on the 26th. And then the other big item, with it being the first meeting in the calendar year, it will be time for a vote for a new chair and a vice chair. And so that will be one of the agenda items. And then based on the new system for the Sutter County representative selection, the city, with the mayor changing of guard last night, Tuesday.
They changed last night?
So they changed last night. And so the new city mayor is Dave Shaw. Vice mayor is Wade Kirshner. That they will then begin the appointments. And so on the city clerk, most likely there'll be a notification come out from the city clerk that basically says, hey, who's interested? Send in the response, and then they'll put them on the interview process and make that appointment when they do all of the appointments for the committees here in January, February. So that's really what I got for the future agenda, and be happy to discuss any items if there's any questions on those.
I do have a question for you, Ben. I was just looking at this agenda, and this is off the cuff, but it says that if you want to make an appeal, the fee is $788.93. Exactly how do they come up with $788.93 for an appeal?
You know, the cents has really come to play because of, it's really the indexing. And so they dreamed the number up back like in the, I think when we looked 2004-ish, 2005, and then it's set where it indexed with inflation. So every year it's been automatically, if it was 3.83% this year, then it bumps it up and it gets this weird number. I will tell you that it is a priority for staff to look at our numbers. It's been a long time since we looked at our numbers, and we're getting to the point where we're out of whack because it's we're pro-business, pro-development. I don't want to be at this, there's a lot of agencies that are up here. We're right here. And so I'm trying to get back into here because right now a lot of the costs aren't even covering the appeal Democrat notice and the mailers. And so we need to look, and that's where you think $700 is expensive, but it's like, gosh, just to mail out the mailers is already gone with the advertisement in the paper. And so over this year, you'll probably see a reset. So all of a sudden it's going to be $1,500 even, but the next year it's going to be $1,543.20. So it gets weird like that.
They have to go by that exact index. They can't just round the number when they're done.
I'd be happy to take that as for input. I agree. It would be nice just to round it. So I'll take that in.
Tell Spencer.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
It's the bean counters.
That's fun.
And one of the big things, if it wasn't followed on Facebook or I don't think it hit the newspaper yet, is that last night Dave Vaughn, the current city manager, his resignation was accepted, and the city council formally approved Diana Langley as the full-time city manager. So that's a big step, and so she'll be the woman in charge as the first woman city manager of Yuba City.
Finally took the plunge.
Yep.
Love it. I got so many text messages last night about it. I was like, this is the best news ever. So tell her congratulations.
Yeah, will do.
Very happy for her.
So I mean, I could give you a quick little rundown of what's going on. Under development.
Because I've been asked if we're getting a Chick-fil-A.
Gosh, everybody says that, and there is nothing. We're getting to Burlington's. They submitted their TI improvement. Everybody saw the new digital sign up, I guess. I don't know what do you think of that, Michelle?
I just saw it from a distance.
So I will tell you that for mine, it's not quite as high and ugly as I thought it might be. I was worried about it might be.
Take a drive.
Take it.
You know what I think.
Take a drive. Let me know.
I don't know.
We're always open for input. Future. So we did the future agenda items. Development. I'll tell you a lot. What's going on right now is annexations. And so I might have mentioned this in the past, but we have the Bogue master plan area. We have 2 additional annexation requests. So it's Kells. So the property on the west side of 99, and then we have Bazarai. They just bought a 40-acre piece off of Walton that butts up a little bit south of that. So they're submitting applications to LAFCO to bring those properties in, and then additionally, a lot of action over in that South Lincoln East specific plan area. So we had the map, the Baines map there, but so they have this Buck Ranch annexation, which is their property. But with that, the adjacent property owners have reached out to us to say, hey, we want to come in too. And so the city's working with LAFCO to basically look at bringing in county recommendation with the city recommendation to bring in that whole block from Lincoln Road to Bogue Road to George Washington, just to square it off and make it a clean cut. And so there's a little bit of hoops to jump through with that, with Gil Sizer and drawing maps and registered voters that we're working through. And so that's kind of some big stuff that working through. Model homes are open, or real close to being open for the Hooper Ranch, I think. So those are going to be banners flying and people walking through those to start selling homes. Faith Court and Hinson Ranch. So the one that just got approved on the other side of Hooper and El Margarita, they've submitted improvement plans and are pushing pretty fast and hard on that. And Faith Court, the Hilbers development there on Monroe, that private cul-de-sac, they're pushing hard to get their map finalized and the improvement plans, which really basically tees it up for construction. So seeing some action on that. March. Oh, it's not that this is the most desirable, it's not a San Diego, but the Planning Commissioner Academy is coming in March, is in San Ramon. And so I'm going to sit that out if there's any interest in that. I'll send out an email here over the next month. We'll get an email kind of with logistics if there's any interest in attending and the stay. So that's really all I got.
San Ramon.
And Burlington's coming, so I have not heard Chick-fil-A. Yeah,
So it's in person this year, then,
it's in person this
or
year.
upcoming. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so report of actions on our Sutter County Friends, the update.
There's nothing new, ma'am.
Nothing? All right. Well, with that, we will adjourn. Merry Christmas.